Surrendering the ordinary. What if the very thing you consider ordinary is the key to your breakthrough? What if the small, simple things in your life, when surrendered to God, are the tools He wants to use to shape your destiny? Today, we're talking about the power of surrendering the ordinary. 1. Moses' staff, an ordinary object. In Exodus 4, God asked Moses, "What is that in your hand?" Moses replied, "A staff." To him, it was just a shepherd's stick, ordinary, unimpressive. Yet, when he surrendered it to God, it became an instrument of miracles. The lesson is clear: it wasn't the staff, it was Moses' obedience to surrender what he had. 2. God's pattern, using the ordinary. All throughout Scripture, we see a consistent theme: God delights in using the ordinary when it is surrendered. David's sling and stones, 1 Samuel 17. A widow's last meal, 1 Kings 17. A boy's 5 loaves and 2 fish, John 6. Peter's boat, Luke 5 verse 3. God doesn't ask for what you don't have. He asks you to surrender what you do have, no matter how simple it looks. 3. Why surrender matters. Surrender is not passive, it is active trust. It says, "God, this may not look like much, but I place it in your hands. Do with it what I cannot." When we hold tightly to what we have, we limit its potential. But when we release it to God, He multiplies it. 4. The kingdom principle of surrender. Jesus said in John 12 verse 24, "Unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many seeds." In the kingdom, surrender is the pathway to multiplication. The seed must be released, broken, and buried before it can bring forth abundance. The ordinary becomes extraordinary only when surrendered. 5. Practical application. What ordinary things might God be asking you to surrender? Your time. Your skills. Your story. Your voice. Your relationships. Even your failures. Nothing is wasted when placed in God's hands. Colossians 3 verse 23 says, "Whatever you do, work heartily, as for the Lord and not for men." This means even the ordinary daily tasks can become sacred when offered to Him. Questions for reflection. What have you been holding back because it feels too ordinary? How might God use your ordinary when surrendered? Are you willing to release your staff and trust God with the outcome? Remember this: God doesn't need extraordinary tools, He needs surrendered hearts. What you release to Him, He redeems. What you place in His hands, He multiplies.